Hello everybody, this is Zealot of Malice. I thank you for tuning in. Today is going to be my very first mod review regarding creations. I did get a few to allow for future look-ins. I wanted to have an opportunity to give my honest opinion on some of these, as I know people are still pivotal on how they feel about creations as a whole. Some people love them, some people are completely against them, as they believe mods should be free. However, I will say regarding this one in particular, there is a lot to unpack. So I'm going to start a new game. I'm going to quickly go through the creation, and I do have a couple of extra mods. I won't really be going over those, but I have some, like a quick start mod and a couple of others to kind of show a couple things at the end as to what I think about it. So give me just a moment. We'll get this started, and we're gonna kind of get this moving. Now this new creation is, it's the Survivalist Toolbox creation, and it's made by, I believe it's Andrew CX. Let me pull it up on my other screen. Yes, it's made by Andrew CX. So once it loads, we will get started. Alright, we don't need that. Yes, I have the cheat terminal because I'm going to effectively go over that as well. War never changes.
War never changes. Okay.
Absolutely. Now get ready and stop talking more.
Alright. Good enough. Name: Tinker Teddy. Oops. Oh. Alright. So, realistically speaking, I'm going to be trying to go through the entirety of the quest, starting at level 1, and I will show you some of the issues that it will have. Come on, load. There it goes. Alright. So, yes, I'm technically on Anniversary Edition, but I did roll back all of my creations I owned back to version 1, and the reason why I had done that was I I wanted to be able to use those on my instance where I play the Wabbajack playlist Magnum Opus, and it definitely has its moments, so to speak. So we're gonna go in here. Again, no radroach. Usually there's like a radroach here. Haven't seen them. I don't know if they just removed it or what the deal is, but we don't need to really fret too much about it. We're just gonna make our way down. And again, I'm grabbing a lot of the stuff you normally would at the beginning, just because I'd like to be able to, frankly, show off as much of this as possible. So the first place for the Survivalist Toolbox that you need to go is, of course, the root cellar. So I also have the zap gun, because again, I will go over some of the pros and cons, not only with this mod, but with some of the things that it claims to do, but we'll get there. There is a lot to go over. So let's read the first one. So, Jahani, I'm glad you've decided to join the SBF. Hopefully you haven't left it too late with the state of the world. Next step in your orientation is to visit the other members and to learn of their areas of expertise. Finding them without a map is part of your initiation. Wayne Gorski's cabin just south of Concord handles ammunition. Sam Rook in Salem handles weapon modifications. Wayne and Bonnie Tornquist in the West Everett Estates handle the medical. You'll find Gino Costello in his smuggling hideout under the bridge north of Salem. Each of them will give you part of a code telling you where to find me. To get you started, I've included the SBF camping supply checklist as well, as specs for setting up a water pump without pesky permits and safety checks, etc., as well as the basic tips for staying hydrated when living off the land. So, when you read this, you've collected a survivalist notes and can now build a camping supply workbench and a dirty water pump at workshops. So, this one is honestly kind of great. Okay? And I will go over that in just a moment. I'm gathering as much of the stuff as possible just to say I'm doing my due diligence. Yes, I have a lot of the dog rescues as well, so it's should hopefully be done soon. I do apologize. Now we're getting out of time. Yep. Alright. So, first things first. We all know how to use a workshop. I'm scrapping as much as I possibly can without going hog wild, because really all we're doing here is building a couple of workbenches. And so you might be wondering what this is. These come with part of the Survivalist Toolbox mod. So I have yet to figure out exactly what specifically this is necessary for. It says build on top of place prepared surfaces crafted in the camping supplies workbench menu or buildable surface to allow building. So far, when using this mod, and again I will go over that in a moment, I have not had that issue in places that haven't been a settlement. So we're going to go back to crafting. Can't do that. Ooh, we need cloth. Ooh, how do we get some cloth? That's should be pretty easy actually. So we're gonna alright. So this is the camping supplies menu. And doesn't look like much. And I will say it's a little funky that they made it a barrel, but I'm not gonna and here's where we have the issue. Frankly, I do not want to have to spend my time looking for all the stuff. So this is where the cheat terminal where the cheat terminal is going to come into play. I'm just grabbing all the crafting supplies that I will need for the near future. And now look at that, I can craft one of these so we can kind of show off all of the stuff for outdoor, really. So, first place that they recommend you go to is going to be Gorski's Cabin. So that's just south of Concord. So, I'm going to effectively try to take my time. I'm going to go through each location as you normally would and do my best, even starting at level 1. Now, I'm not someone who does like a bunch of like challenge runs and whatnot, so I can't say it's going to be smooth sailing, especially because one of the locations is West Everett's. That has super mutants. Starting out at level 1 is not going to be very easy.
Okay then, let's stick together.
The other big issue that I have about this in general is going to be Salem. By all technicalities, for those who are in the know and have played Fallout 4 before, the name Rook is actually pretty familiar in Salem. You do a unmarked quest for a Barney Rook, and that's going to be where you more or less have to start to get one of the documents. So, alright, that's good enough. We're getting the heck out of here. We're skipping the blood bugs because we're not an idiot. It's not worth it. And I'm doing this all on, trying to show that it can be done without
Won't be able to do this.
actually, just kind of blowing through God mode, because that kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion. Ah, crap. I didn't know about that. Good place to get some gourds to start off. Always something new to learn. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Still, not too fun. We're swapping over to the frag grenade. Alright, so personally speaking, I'm going to give the Drifter outfit for Dogmeat to hold on to, because long story short, that's really not going to last you very long. Plus with this, I've already pretty much surpassed armor just from doing that. Well, that doesn't have armor, that does add a little bit to my charisma, which will help once I see Carla.
Hey,
So what's your story? Looking to trade? Rob me? Or just ask directions to Diamond City?
let's see what you got.
I have a little bit of everything.
So, looking at my weapons. Don't need that one. Don't know why I have these, but I will save them and I will show you why in a minute. some goodies. And up ahead is the second stop, going to be Gorski's cabin. Now, not going to be super difficult because it's just a couple goals. One second. Alright, so that wasn't horrible. Certainly I've taken more damage from ghouls before at low level, so I will take what win I can get. Alright. Alright, well, that takes care of that. So we go down into the root cellar because there's really no other place to go in Gorski's cabin. And the cabin itself is pretty bare. And for, like I said, anyone who played Fallout 4, we know exactly where this is going. I'm going to loot what I can, because these items will be useful later, especially if I'm going to be making a house somewhere not listed as a settlement. Alright. Again, I'm going to be taking a little bit of rads for a couple seconds, which sucks, but Jesus. Yeah, they really don't make it too easy. Alright, so here's the second one. Ammo. Ammunition is critical. No ammo means you're dead. Wrong ammo also means you're dead. It's that simple. Nothing much I can do about the former other than the stress of needing to stockpile. For the latter, however, there is a solution. With a bit of effort and the right equipment, it's possible to break down the necessary bullets into salvage that can then be crap. Let's go back to that. Here we go. Used to make new ammo of whatever gauge you need. All the details are in the document attached. So, here is the first part of a code that's supposed to get you to Catherine. So, when looking this over, again, pretty simple. Alright, we're getting the heck out of here. So what will I put this into? I'm going to put one into agility. I'm going to do that. Because my thought is, as we start to do these quests, we're going to try to see how far we can get. I am going to try to get to each area and get the stuff. But let's say after like a couple tries, if I keep dying, and I'm gonna basically kind of cheese my way. And again, I'm doing that not because I can't do it, but that saves us both on time, because I want to try to keep the video brief, as brief as possible. So the next location is going to be the West Everett Estates. And I'm trying to think as to where exactly I could what's going to be the quickest way to get there. There we go. Yeah, we're not dealing with, well, actually, Is there anything I can do to, yeah. So here's what we're going to do. Eh. I have a 3, which means I might be able to do it.
Looks like you've got some trouble. I can help. Wait some time. I'll talk to him. Maybe we can work this out.
I saw you in that poison cellar talking. Well, he ain't getting it.
Look, you owe them money. If you just pay them, then this will be over. Everyone walks away without getting hurt.
All right?
There we go. Look at that.
That bastard ain't gonna sell one more drop of jet to my boy. Forget your damn money, but I better not fix some pets for my boy again. If you're here to trade, step up to the counter.
Alright. So we're going to talk to Wolfgang.
Get paid, and I don't even gotta shoot nobody. Good job. Here. Now that I showed you all the paychecks I have. I've got a few minutes to browse. Now remember, moderate.
Yeah, no. Alright, so as funky as this is going to be, now we're going to take a weapon and we're going to show off the first thing. So one thing that I will say bugs me about Trudy and Patrick, so to speak, is you really, like, they got this place, but they don't got a place to sleep, nothing. Um, what could we do to make this improved? Alright. Again, we're doing those. You might be asking why. Because I am going to effectively turn Drumlin into an actual home. Not a great home, mind you, but a home. There we go. So just to show you exactly what it is that I've done, I'm trying to prove a concept that you can pretty much build a decent house like they suggest out of the box after using this mod anywhere in the world. So I went and it's too close. Using a little bit of the pillar glitch to make some stairs that reach the ground in each direction. And last but not least, here we go. So, in case if you feel like you did enough for Trudy and Wolfgang, if you can get them both, good on you. There's a door. Using a should probably take that off. Too lazy to actually strap that. Alright, so I'm going to take that off. Alright. And now we have a working window. I'm going to put this back on. Furniture, bed. This is one of the new toolboxes, the containers you get, and that's just another type of ammo box, which is nice. Help you differentiate. I would build a little little stove, but can't really build one now. But this is proof of concept to say, hey, and it doesn't look half bad. It also feels somewhat natural in the sense that you see this kind of stuff everywhere in the wasteland. Alright. Now, you can't delete any of the... Well, I can't say any, because, like, you can delete that trash can. And you can even move this stuff around. In fact, there... Okay, I take it back. There is, like... Every now and again, you can take something and just get rid of it. But you're going to be very... It's going to be very seldom as to what all you can scrap. But it seems to function pretty well. So, next one is going to be West Everett. So, we're going to there we go. One less blood bug. Honestly, screw it. We're just gonna use the terminal to get to West Everett. Again, this saves a little time. Oh boy. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. So, starting at level 3 at this point, we are severely under prepared to kind of get around here. Yep. Yep. So, Yeah, this is... know exactly where we're going with this. Eh? Yeah. Yep. Hang on, dog mate. Yep. Yep. Go, me boy. Hammer is down. So, here we get back to the backyard bunker, which is where you usually find a lot of the loot for West Everett. And I am going to say this, I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. This is one of those situations where it would have been a lot, like, this is meant to be played through as you play the game. You wouldn't get all of the goodies until about mid-game, so about like level 20 or so. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. To me, that kind of just gives it a little more reason to play the game and actually earn what you get out of it. Which, all considered, is quite a bit. Now, is it all perfect? No. Absolutely not. But there are a lot of things that I like, and I think a lot of other people would like, personally speaking. So this is the fourth one. But, because they basically wanted you to go to Salem first, which pre-war probably would have been fine. Post-war, Salem sucks. So, again, I'll give you a moment to read that. You can pause. I should probably take that. We're going to go to the next location. And again, this is one of those areas where you effectively have to do this unmarked quest to get the next part. So, since I don't want to deal with fireworks, we're doing that. And there's technically a way to do it through here, but it's just pressing 4 buttons. There we go. And so when I finish it, I am actually going to pull up the page on my phone, and I will effectively be reading what all it quote unquote adds. That way I can try to show you how, to a newcomer and someone who probably hasn't done this before, would probably get a little confused, honestly. Now, could I cheat my way through and get the thing? Sure. But I still need to get in here before. Still had to get through the door. And you let him go downstairs. And one thing I'm noticing is there really isn't much left of Barney's house. I'm kind of thinking once this is done, I might come back here and fix her up a little so it's, livable. Figured that'd be kind of cool. So, So, there is a quick, simple way to do this without too much issue. There are 5 different turrets that you need to effectively turn on as it shows. And the quickest way you're going to be able to do that is going to we're going to go over to this one. we're gonna... Oh, Jesus. Come on. Gonna throw a couple grenades. Piss off some mire alerts. It's like they know what I'm trying to do. Hang on. The dog's acting like a goof. Okay. So there's one over here. And if you're a little more nimble, you should be able to actually do it without taking any hits whatsoever. This is going to be fun. There. Jeez, oh Pete. There are a lot of goodies you can get by doing this quest. Like plenty of pre-war food, so on and so forth. And yeah, and this is honestly one of the easier ones to get to because there's just not any Alright, so we've done pretty much everything necessary to do here. Go back to the basement. Barney will give you access to the key to his bunker.
Hey, Mark. You did it. I've been hearing that sweetness all the way down here. All those cockney like No problem, Mark. Glad to be of service. Well, Rita and I appreciate it. We want some I'd say we burn them.
So, this is something you can get base game, which, again, pretty cool in all honesty. It looks like we missed one of the weapons. Thinking back on it, I will go back to where it is after I get the last location. Well, second last location. I'll explain in a moment. Alright, so, and the whole reason why I bring this up is looking through this, I'm not seeing any of the one that I should have had by now. So, the next location they explained is going to be a smuggler's den, basically, and it's supposed to be north of Salem. Now, that's not a great description. I will show you where it is, and I will kind of show it on the map, and we can decide whether or not that's a good enough way to explain where we are. Frankly, it's right by Coastal Cottage. So, when we pull that up on the map, then it is a little north of Salem, right? I'm not going to say it's not, but also could have been a better description. That's my personal feeling, because yeah, here's where we get into the next issue again. You're gonna have to defeat ghouls to make this happen. Is there anything I could use to kill them quicker? I don't like doing this. Alright. So really, this is one of the last locations. This is one of 3 guns you get. It's a 2-shot automatic laser RCW rifle. So, when you look at this, again, it's clear that they took pre-existing assets, which was the barrel of a laser gun, and just threw it on a regular machine gun. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine, because it's quick, it's simple, it gets the job done. So, there's also a weapon back at Gorski's cabin. We're going to go get that. And then we are going to show off the last location. Going back to Gorski Catman. Going back in here, I could have swore there's like another weapon you get like right here, or it's in the root cellar. Although, personally speaking, I'm fairly certain it's this one because of the, yeah, I don't know how, like I stood right by it. And if you look at this, this is a pretty much a pipe sniper rifle. And it looks pretty cool. And the new barrel is definitely custom. So, when you find all 4 of the sheets, they expect you to do this puzzle to find where to find the glass location, as they explained. So, going in the order in which they want you to, which is Gorski, then Sam Rook, and then the Tornkist, and then Gino, right? So that's ammo, weapon, med, cooking. And when you go through all of these, you'll find those parts of the code. When you basically write out all the little parts, I sat it right next to me. And my wife even helped me because she has better handwriting than I do. When you put it down and you put it in that order, it reads out South Boston Church Graveyard. So, where is the South Boston Church Graveyard? Closest location you can get to is actually going to be the South Boston High School. So there's going to be a couple of raiders there. You take care of the raiders, and then you go too far, you're going to be right by the Shamrock Tap House. And now it's basically going to have some, basically this whole area's got a bunch of stuff. So again, this is one of those areas where you kind of need to be of a higher level. Yeah, looks like we're doing this instead. wow, that was late. Okay. So it's right around this area. And one of the ways that you can tell where it is exactly, and do a quick jump, is and this is an unmarked location. Okay, here we are. So here's the South Boston Church. When you get here, again, you're going to have basically a couple of, a couple more little spots. Again, radiation, it's better to come through on this side, so if you wanted to, you could sneak in. Can't remember if there's any more ghouls inside, but yes. Yes, I did. Okay. So one of the people over here, I'm going to assume, was Catherine. We will get to this in just a moment. So, reading this, if you're reading this, and I guess you visited the other members of the SBF and somehow made it here, even with the end of the world, that definitely makes you a full member. I had a little party arranged complete with the choice of Pip-Boy from one of the rejected prototypes from Robco's personalized paint production line. The colors are a bit crude and, as it turns out, prone to rust, but I quite like the look of them. Oh well. Now that the world has ended, I may as well fess up what SBF actually stands for. The other members all assume that S and B stands for Survivalist in Boston, but in truth it's my own little joke, since when you look at us as a group, we really are strange bedfellows. Water's been seeping into the basement for hours and I'm starting to feel ill. I don't think I'll make it out, but hopefully you and the rest of the SBF will. Best of luck. So, this gives you basically some Paint Boy skins, and that's pretty much it. Now, looking at this, it's an incendiary prototype laser musket. And when you look at this barrel, it's actually quite nice. It's a nice little addition. Frankly, it feels like something that should have just been like an extra option. Now, we're going to go back to Sanctuary so I can kind of show you off some of the different stuff real quick. Again, we're going to go back to Sanctuary. This is pretty simple. Alright. So, to make the most out of this, again, we're going to make use of the cheat terminal. We're going to we're just going to add gun nut and science. So, to kind of explain what they mean by adding all these extra types of weapons customization. As you can see, these are items you would find off of pipe rifles, but they are now able to be added to other weapons as being quote-unquote compatible, which in a way I kind of like. So I already use things like Dax Attachment Pack. I think it's an excellent mod, and that's quite a bit to it. But this adds a good alternative if you're looking for just a few extra goofy attachments, or even some serious attachments. Just, you know, again, you want it to be kind of crude and low tech. I'm all about it. So, from what I can tell, though, again, Survivalist bayonet, the compensator, muzzle brake, and suppressor. So again, you're getting all these low-tech versions that you can just throw onto certain weapons now. So, the reason why I went and grabbed the laser musket here. So again, regular capacitor. Looking through all of these, it doesn't show the option to get the prototype barrel as being able to be added to the regular laser musket. And that kind of bothers me, I'm not going to lie, because this is such a cool look. I would have loved to be able to have this just, well, also, if you can notice, there's a little bit of artifacts on it, which, again, when you're playing the game, you're probably not going to notice it, but it is something to know. And again, this looks like a standard pipe weapon. The difference is they just made it 50 caliber. But because they listed it as its own thing, like they didn't put it as a part of the rest of the pipe weaponry, you can't use any of the other stuff from the regular pipe weapons, which is kind of a shame, honestly. Again, this one has a lot more to it, but again, if I was to say pull up a regular submachine gun, I would not be able to add any of this to a regular one. And again, part of that's because this is a its own custom thing. And I kind of thought, well, considering it has all these options and whatnot, again, pulling up the page itself. Actually, give me just a moment. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had to add some biofreeze. My back is killing me. Um, so, okay, come on. When reading the listing for the Survivalist Toolbox, it states that you're supposed to have the ability to make campsites anywhere in the world. We were able to prove that, and it works really well. Frankly, I didn't test using a solar's beacon, but I wouldn't be shocked if you could basically make a few small settlements here and there throughout the world with no issues. It adds new it adds a whole bunch of colors. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's check out multicolor, just for shits and giggles. Hard to really see this without light, so we're gonna wait till morning so you can kind of see how this turned out. And I'm not going to say I did absolutely flawless with this. Oh, that looks kind of cool. All right. Again, that looks pretty neat. A little scrappy, a little rough, but very cool. All right. So you get 15 prototype Pip-Boy skins, which is really cool. You get 10 new items to the workshop build menu, 2 versions of the ammo box, 3 of the med kit, 4 plywood floor pieces, and a new dirty water hand pump. Now, why is that great? Because one of the things that you will notice is if I was to just go ahead and do that real quick, I'm just going to get a regular water pump. Right? And I will say I'm not in survival, but even though I'm not in survival, I can fill up water bottles. Look at that. So this adds some of the functionality from survival mode if you wanted to make your own purified water or dirty water for whatever recipes that you need. So that's a pretty cool little addition that didn't really take much to make happen. So we're going to check out the cooking station because there's supposed to be new recipes. Here, survivalist recipes. So, beer, bourbon, dirty wastelander. You can make your own Nuka Cherry, Nuka Cola, Nuka Quantum. That's actually really cool. The whole reason why I say that is, frankly, if you wanted to make your own mixes and whatnot using the Nuka mixer, now you can easily make a whole bunch, just by collecting. Okay, so here's the kicker. You do need wild corn and wild mute fruit for both the regular and the cherry. And that kind of stinks because that's one of those areas where you're not going to be able to grow it. So that's how they more or less get around that. Because unless if you have a mod that adds the ability to grow the wild variants or to somehow swap out the domesticated for wild variants, you're basically going to have to just kind of collect them as you go throughout the world. Which, not the worst. So we got all 3 of the new weapons, and it says there's a piece of Under Armor. I've gone through this mod twice, and I have not found the Under Armor. So I'm willing to do just a quick look-see through all 4 places again, because if you're following this particular route, it should be at one of these locations, you would think. So I'm not seeing anything extra in here. So I do notice that we do also have the safe, so again, looking through this, nothing extra. I'm gonna go back up. We're going to go check Gorski's. We're going to go check West Everett. Check Rooks. Maybe it's even at the South Boston checkpoint. I don't know. Or the South Boston Church. But I've played this mod through last night, so I can show off exactly where I think it excels and where I think it could use some improvement today. One of the things that I do have a complaint about, and again, that I can't really stress this enough, I love the idea of adding new weapons, but I will say, by the time you would get here, this really isn't as strong as some of the other weapons you would get. And again, one of the big problems I have, especially in the daylight, it's easier to see all that artifact. Like you could see it. You just see little blips of something. One down at the bottom too. It's like it's either this was something used for something else and was just thrown on here, thus why it doesn't fit properly, or B, they need to fix the model a little bit, because that's what this looks like. Yeah, that's what this is. If you take a look at the barrel, this is a barrel from a missile launcher, and they threw it on the laser musket. So you would think in this kind of situation, again, when you say at the top that there's supposed to be 50 options or more than 50 options to add to your weapons, to improve upon them, I'm not finding 50. Like I'm seeing, I think 4 or 5 barrels, and then 4 4 things to add to the barrels, like your compensator, your muzzle brake, your suppressor, and unfortunately, unless if they are referring to the idea that with all the weapons that they did it for, that adds up to 50, which to me is not exactly accurate. So that is a little bit of a letdown. Like I said, we're going to just check through quick, see if we can't find everything, because I want to give an honest opinion on everything that is supposed to be here. Oh, damn it. The rest of the enemies should be effectively taken care of at this point. So we're gonna... Really? And again, we're looking through here. We're just gonna... There's nothing in here regarding an Under Armour. We already looted the stuff through here. You know, I can't remember if this was an unlockable location before this creation, but the Rook family house, I don't remember the Rook family house having its own Pip-Boy marker. And again, I could be completely off base because it's been a bit since I've done that particular quest. Where'd he go? This is bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen him not been down here. But again, looking around, I'm not seeing any Under Armour. Come on. There. Jeez, oh Pete. Normally it wouldn't bother me so much, but the fact of the matter is that noise just irritates the heck out of me. So I'm doing my best in trying to get that due diligence. Oh, this will be great. Looking in here, there's nothing. Nothing really, anything extra here. Again, looking it through, there's just, I'm not seeing where it would be. Skipping out on the super mutants. If I don't find it at the last location, I'm genuinely unsure as to where in the heck I would even find it. Again. Well, there's the yellow lab. That worked out pretty good. Alright, so we're back down in here. There's a kitty cat. We already got all the ammo. Looking through. Maybe over here. No. So, in all honesty, I'm just not seeing where this special legendary Under Armour is. This might be one of those areas where it's going to have to, like I'm going to need to, take another look, but I gave it my best. That being said, with all considered, this was $1, okay? This was 100 Bethesda bucks. Whatever the heck you want to, the 100 creation credits. So it's $1. Even with its issues that I take with the weapon mods, because I feel as though when it just says learn how to adapt parts from one gun to another type of weapon for more than 50 new options, it makes me feel like it should be adaptable from one to the other. And oopsie as to where to go, so we're gonna just go back here. And they're supposed to be, through a different mod, be able to build something that would allow me to do what I figured it should do. So I can kind of show you off something that I kind of figured what would have been possible. And would I buy it again? For the price that they give you for it, you really can't complain, because they do give you a lot of content for $1. Is it perfect? Nah, but it's at least decent. Yeah. So this is goofy, but this is a weapon mixer. So theoretically, I should be able to put the weapon / armor you want to modify in, attach. So really, what I want to do is to try to use this. Right? So apparently I'm supposed to transfer this . Oh. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do real quick. And again, we're just kind of testing the waters on something to see if I can make something kind of cool out of one of the items. We're going to put in the prototype. And we're going to put in this bad boy. I'll walk away. Doo-dee-doo. No, it does not work with the prototype. Very interesting. But since I have the missile launcher, I'm going to try to use this as a way to blah, blah, blah. Again, one complaint is this looks ridiculous. I don't like. I would definitely try to change. I'm gonna keep messing around with it at some point later, but you get what I'm trying to say with this. I would definitely buy it again for the price that it went for, and though there is room for improvement, I also feel like it's possible to make those improvements yourself, whether that be through other mod means or be to make a mod of your own that best fits for this. One of the things I would maybe do is I would for sure make it to where the weapons that were added are able to be used at any point by like other weapons. So allow me to use that prototype barrel for the laser musket, because that's such a cool idea and it's such a cool look. They were able to reuse a lot of these assets that were already in game and just make them work for something new. But I would love to be able to see that at a more wider range. So that prototype barrel for the laser musket again. I would love to even be able to see it on as like just like as a sniper barrel option for a regular laser rifle, or better yet, make it possible to have other uh, the other weapons be able to be integrated a little bit better. And one flaw, like I said, I cannot seem to find the Under Armour that they claim is in it. So I don't know where that would be or how best to handle that situation. But I appreciate everyone taking a look at my review. I know it probably needs a lot of work in the future if I want to keep doing these, but I more or less wanted this to be a test. That way I can kind of post my honest opinion on something and have my friends be able to see it, so that way they can kind of get their own opinion on it as well, in case if they want to get it. But I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.